Okay, let's talk about it. That moment. It can be confusing, it can be exciting, or honestly, just kind of weird. A guy, maybe a friend, maybe a date, reaches out and touches your hair. It's such a tiny little thing, but it can totally send your mind racing, right? So in this explainer, we are going to break down what that gesture can actually mean.
Right? That is the big question. It happens, and you're left there thinking, wait, was that a move? Was he just being friendly? Or do I have something in my hair? I promise, you are not the only one asking this. And this quote right here, it just gets to the very heart of it. This small gesture can feel so charged with meaning, and that feeling you get, it's valid. It tells you that something significant just happened, even if it only lasted for a second. So, to cut through all that confusion, we're going to break down the 6 most common meanings behind a guy touching your hair. Let's go from feeling uncertain to having some real clarity. All right, first up, the one that probably pops into most of our heads right away. Simple, straightforward attraction. This is the classic flirting move. Touching your hair is a pretty low-risk way to break that physical barrier. It's not as direct as, say, grabbing a hand or putting an arm around your waist. It's a subtle signal that says, hey, I'm interested, and it's also a way to test the waters and see how you react to them being that close. Which leads to the next logical question, right? If it's a sign of attraction, does every single hair touch automatically mean someone is flirting with you? Well, not necessarily on its own, but there are some major clues you can look for. So if that hair touch comes with these other signals, like they're holding eye contact a little longer than usual, they have a genuine smile on their face, or they're physically leaning into your space, then yeah, it is a very, very strong indicator of flirting. The gesture doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's part of a whole package of body language. Okay, on to our second possible meaning. Now, this one is less about showing you they're interested and more about gauging if you're interested. You can think of it like a silent question. By touching your hair, a guy can kind of test your boundaries and see if you're comfortable with him entering your personal space. If you lean in or even just stay put, that's often read as a green light. But if you pull back, even slightly, it's a pretty clear signal for him to slow down. Now for something with a completely different vibe. The third reason isn't really about romance at all. It's more about being thoughtful. And you can see the difference so clearly here. The goal changes everything. An attraction touch is all about creating a romantic spark, like playfully twirling a strand of your hair. A caring touch is about providing comfort or help, like gently tucking a straight piece of hair out of your eyes. The energy just shifts from flirty to protective, and that's the key thing to look for. Let's move on to our fourth meaning, which is way more lighthearted. You know, sometimes a hair touch is just part of the banter. If you're already joking around and having fun, a quick ruffle of your hair or a playful little tug on a strand is often just an extension of that teasing, fun dynamic. It's really just meant to be silly, not serious. The fifth possibility is one we might not always consider, mainly because it has nothing to do with his feelings for you. Honestly, sometimes your hair is just really cool. Someone might be genuinely curious about its texture, maybe it's a unique color, or they're just impressed by how you styled it. In these cases, the touch isn't about sending some kind of hidden signal. It's literally just about your hair. And finally, our sixth reason. This one is less about the gesture itself and a lot more about the person who's doing it. For some people, physical contact is just a normal part of how they communicate. They might come from a culture where touching is more common, or maybe they're just a naturally touchy person. For them, a hair touch might not carry any special weight at all. It's just how they connect with people. Okay, so we've covered a lot of different kinds of touches. But what about a very specific one, stroking? Is that in a whole different category? And the answer is a big, definitive yes. Stroking someone's hair is almost universally seen as a really intimate and affectionate gesture. It's slow, it's tender, and it communicates a level of care and closeness that a quick, playful touch just doesn't. So this particular action is way, way less ambiguous. So now that we know all the possibilities, how do you figure out which one actually applies to your situation? Let's get into a practical action plan. Here is a simple 3-step reality check you can use. First, Observe other touches. Is the hair touch a one-off thing, or is he generally more physically expressive with you? Second, note the context. A touch during a quiet one-on-one dinner carries a very different weight than one at a loud, crowded party. And finally, trust your gut and read the energy. Beyond the single gesture, what does the overall vibe feel like? Is it flirty, caring, or just playful? All right, we've spent all this time decoding the gesture. But now, for what I think is the most important part of this whole explainer, we're going to shift the focus back to where it belongs, on you. Look, context is king. It gives you all the clues you need to interpret the touch. But the ultimate truth is this. It doesn't really matter if it was meant to be flirty, friendly, or just curious, if it made you feel uncomfortable. On the other hand, if it made you feel great, that matters too. Your feeling is the most important piece of data in this entire interaction. In the end, his gesture is just one piece of the story that's happening between two people. Your reaction, your comfort level, and your choice of what to do next, that's how the story continues. You are the one who gets to decide what it all means to you, and ultimately, how you want to respond.